Hello, I'm Mickey.
And I'm Matt.
And this is The Place.
This is a podcast where we are talking about the ever-growing and shrinking restaurant and bar options in Music City. For anybody that doesn't know what Music City is listening to this in Australia, it's Nashville, Tennessee.
Yes, Nashville. And we'll be exploring why now. You know, why is this a place to drink, eat, hang out?
Yeah, there's been a lot of changes that have happened here in the last, 10, 15 years. I mean, the number of restaurants and bars that have opened is just exponential. It's a really tall task to kind of weed through everything. It doesn't matter if you're a local or if you're just visiting. There's so many different options that we hope that we can maybe bring a little extra inside knowledge to some of these places that we're going to touch on and give you some good options to say, hey, this sounds like a really interesting place, some good food, some good restaurants, good atmosphere. Then you'll go check it out and hopefully you'll like it.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy eating and drinking, and I enjoy people eating and drinking in Nashville more than anything.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So how often do you go out usually? In a week.
Over the course of a week, maybe 2 times, maybe 3, maybe 5.
Mm-hmm. And doing that, even with the number of restaurants that are in town, I can barely even touch the number of places that are in the. I mean, that's just like, you'd have to go out every single day probably for at least
2 years.
2 years before we even were able to get all the good restaurants. So the local paper, I think at the end of this past year, there was an article about the just booming restaurant business. So in the fall of 2017 in Nashville, and granted, this is obviously probably including every single restaurant, so McDonald's and everything, but there were over 5,500 restaurants in this town, which is a lot. And actually, in the past year, that's a decrease by 2%. So,
wow.
Which that says right there why you need this podcast to so we can help you figure out which places to go. Just in the past 6 months, I guess, there are to be opened in the downtown area 51 restaurants.
51 restaurants are going to open up?
You know how Nashville downtown is not a huge place.
No, it's not. No.
But in 2018, they're either going to be or have already opened 51 restaurants.
Wow.
I mean, that's kind of ridiculous.
That's
honestly.
a lot.
I don't know how we can sustain that, and that's part of why some of the restaurants are already closing. Some are only sticking around for a couple of years. They can kind of start to run together a little bit. Same pricing, same menu options. So, again, that's why we're here to help you figure out which are the places that you definitely should check out.
Yeah, but we'll be checking out some dives. We'll check out some places that have been around for a while. Me personally, I really like checking out new places. If you just opened up, I may be the first guy through the door. I may be the first one at the bar. I want to check out what's next, what's coming around the corner.
Yeah. So let's talk about ourselves. Just a brief moment and why we came to do this, like where Nashville was a while back. I'm originally from Memphis, but I've been in Middle Tennessee for over 20 years. So I've kind of seen the drastic change that has happened in Nashville. Mickey is a local native.
I'm a Tennessean, yes.
Okay, Tennessean. I'm a Tennessean too.
Okay, no, we're not fighting here. Okay, that's fine.
No, we're not. So I moved to East Nashville in 2001 when the only thing, so the restaurant Margot, which any Nashvilleian should know about, as it was opening a couple months, I think, after I moved into that side of town. And beyond that, there were really the decent amount of restaurants you can count on both hands. There were just not very many restaurants at all besides the typical Morton's, Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You really did not have many good food options. And when Margot opened, that I think really kind of started to open the door for new and interesting restaurants. I remember going there and thinking, like, this is such a cool place and has really good food. I think it's the first place I remember where they're talking about, local food. I'm sure they didn't use the word farm to table. That wasn't hip yet, but that's kind of what it was, and people loved it. It was great. Besides that place, I think Zola's was around, and Zola's was a great place. It closed, I don't remember when, and the cook, the chef that owned it, came back. She moved away, came back, I think 10 years later, and opened up Muriel, I think. I don't know, I'm butchering that name, over off of Charlotte, or on Charlotte. It's really good. I went there to eat a couple years ago. I believe it's still there. I'm not sure. But other than that, I don't know. What did you... Where were you eating back
funny
in
that you
the
mentioned,
early 2000s?
Well, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned Margot. For me, I guess it was one of the things that drew me over to East Nashville. At the time, I was living, in the Vanderbilt area, the West End area. And, I found myself hanging out with friends at Margot. I mean, it just had the right vibe. The food was great. The bar was... there were some really great people at the bar as well, too, at that time. And it just felt right. I was like, this is somewhere, I think I want to live.
Right.
I'm very much about a neighborhood bar, neighborhood restaurant. Mm-hmm. I remember growing up in Nashville and traveling down to Atlanta to buy records or just hang out or whatever. And it just seemed like wherever you were, there was a restaurant or a bar around the corner that you could walk to from your favorite record store or whatever. I mean, 5 Points area. So just seeing that, Margot kind of had that really great neighborhood vibe, and the food was good, and lots of great times just hanging out with friends. That kind of encouraged me to move on over to that side of town.
Yeah. Other than that, like I said, there were very few restaurants. I think City House opened in 2005, maybe 2004. That was the second place where you go there and you're like, okay, this is something different. There's nothing else in town. The vibe of it was so cool. The food was so good.
I hear 1,000 knives dropping around town right now. There are a lot of chefs out there that are like, what? There was food before Margot.
I know. I'm just saying.
Taste. Okay, we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
So,
and I think we'll in later episodes we'll hit City House and we'll hit Margot a little harder and really talk about those places. Because
we have like I guess just for our taste in talking about the new and what's come along. I mean, those two restaurants are kind of markers when there was
those are kind of the
definite change in where Nashville was headed.
Yeah.
So the restaurants that surround them now, I'd say they're probably one of the reasons why that they're around.
Yeah.
Kind of for those young folks that were just getting out and beginning to eat, and for those folks that could appreciate a really nice restaurant, the two kind of merged, and it is what it is now.
Right.
And out of that blossomed some great things. So 2005 or so, I get over there, and one of my shortly after that, Margot opened up a place called Marché.
Yeah.
And it was open for coffee. You could have brunch there, and lunch as well too. And that quickly became my favorite place, and one of the reasons why I was very happy to be living in East Nashville.
Right.
So,
yeah, that definitely, I think, opened up a lot. People said, oh, this is an area that is only going to grow. People, I think, for the first time started going over there from other parts of the city and said, hey, this is...
Yeah, they're crossing the bridge.
They're crossing the bridge and saying, hey, this is a good place to maybe even move to and settle down because there are things happening here. But anyway, we haven't seen each other in a little while, so let's catch up. So any drink or food or restaurant in the last couple weeks?
So on the podcast, we're going to explore various different neighborhoods and what have you. And there's one neighborhood that I kind of feel like that's not getting very much. I don't hear a lot of people going there.
What's that?
That's Sylvan Park. The Sylvan Park neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a small neighborhood. I mean, it's been a staple.
Yeah, for the locals. So if you're visiting town or you're looking for a place to go, I highly encourage you to check out Sylvan Park. There's a restaurant located over there called Answer. Answer.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah. What's the question? yeah. Answer. And it's
question is, how's the food?
It's been open for a while.
Okay.
Food's great. I would recommend, if you were going to just maybe check it out, go for happy hour. So Tuesday through Saturday, currently, they have a happy hour, and it's from 4:30 until 6. And I would highly recommend checking it out. Everything was $5 on the happy hour menu, and they have about 7 different like little plates, small plates that you can have. As well as drink specials, a selection of drinks. Okay. Usually something sparkly or bubbly for the ladies.
Right.
And a beer.
For the ladies, come on.
Wine. Well, you know.
Like sparkly drinks.
Okay. All right. Well, they have one for you.
Okay,
that's good.
Great.
I know, but they're really good. So I pop in, and the place is just, it really complements the neighborhood very well. You know? When you first walk in, there's a bar that's U-shaped that opens up into what is the kitchen. So if you're sitting at the bar, depending on what seat you take, you got a great view of everything that's coming out of the kitchen. And
some people love that. They like to see the action.
They do. They like to see what's going on. I'm one of those people. Yeah. If I'm by myself. Yeah. But I went in for happy hour and had a great time. I mean, the drinks are great. I have to say the folks behind the bar are very entertaining as well too. Good conversation and very excited about what they're doing there. So the drinks are great. Had a really good time.
You have to, in this town now, because there are so many options, you have to have somebody that knows what they're pouring. You know, and they need to be able to engage with you a little bit, because if they don't, then you're not going to go there again.
Well, I mean, I want to, if I'm somewhere, I want to make sure that the person definitely knows what they're doing. It's great to have a professional behind the bar. Sure. Teach me something, show me something, or turn me on to something really cool. And I'd have to say that's what happened. Not only that, though, what I find is if you pop into a neighborhood bar and you're engaging the bartender, they're going to let you know what's happening. Where did they go? Right. What's next? What's opening up? What should I be having? Or how did you find the drinks at this place?
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. I was on a terrible Bumble date. And, and I'd say the bartender, she rescued me, so to speak.
That's a great bartender right there.
But, it's the kind you want to have if you get in that situation. But,
I imagine a lot of bad Bumble dates can happen. I'm married. I'm been married a long time, so I don't even know
I'll let you know how that goes. Yeah. Well, I'm single, just so you know. And if anyone has a grandmother out there who wouldn't mind inviting me in the kitchen to teach me how to make a Italian dish, I'm open for that.
Right.
If she doesn't mind sharing the kitchen.
What are you saying?
I like to cook, man. I'm trying to find. I would like to learn how to make some Italian dishes.
All right.
And I'm open to that. There'll be ways to contact us, so keep me in mind. Yeah. But anyway.
So talking about you're talking about how getting to know your bartender is a very important thing, and they can hip you to some great place you maybe haven't heard about yourself, or a good drink, or a good food.
Well, they're going to turn you on to something first to drink, and then they'll tell you about what they think is good.
So we are in Fort Houston right now. This is where we're doing the podcast from. And there's a lot of construction going on. I think they just stopped it. Actually, we were right before we started. There was going to be we heard all this banging, and now of course it stopped. But there's a couple places that have opened up here recently. I mean, there's constant construction going on over here, and one of them is called the Falcon. Which is a coffee shop.
It's a great coffee shop, and they have a really nice menu as well too. They have they open up the food starts about 11, so they have breakfast sandwiches. Also, it's a plant-based menu, and they have cheeses as well too. Nice. So I highly recommend it.
I had when we were there, I had the empanada, which was fantastic. I don't know if the whole menu was flavored towards that sort of food, or if it's kind of
No,
a little bit.
They have empanadas, they have toast, sandwiches, they have a BLT, they have a French dip, and again, plant-based.
Yeah.
So it's very good.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend checking out the Falcon, because for the area that we're in, I mean, it fits in perfectly.
Yeah, it's cool.
The place was an old church.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, kind of like Grimey's new place.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe that's the new thing.
What's next? Yeah. Yeah, but it was...
These churches are going away.
Yeah,
Still
so
build...
Let's put a coffee shop in there.
A coffee shop, a record store.
No, but it's like, I think... It's really got a nice feel.
Yeah.
There are places to sit out front. There's also a window where you can walk up to the window and grab it to go and walk on.
Yeah, what I do like about it is it looks like they're growing a garden out front of some sort. So there will be some greenery out front. One thing about this area, because there is so much construction going on, is I feel like it can get a little hot, a little city, sidewalky brick, a lot of industrial.
It's all asphalt and sunshine.
Yeah,
here.
so I think it's great that they're trying to grow their own
a little something,
food, their own products, right? Adding to the greenery, because it definitely needs it over here. So behind it is we're not going to talk about it very long.
But all I know is that they've got coffee up front, and when the sun goes down. And it's late. They have a new place called the Flamingo. Okay. Everybody in this area...
It's been open less than a month.
Everybody in this area has been talking about it,
Yeah.
And the folks behind the Falcon and the Flamingo, they have a pretty good track record. We're talking 308, Old Glory, all places you want to check out at some point. But in the back of the Falcon, it's called the Flamingo, and it's a Miami-style dance club. Yeah, at least that's what people are saying.
Yeah. Well, we went. We definitely got to check it out. We went and checked it out before it opened. We were able to peek back there, and it looked like a really cool vibe. Like there may be some like little private areas where you can hang out, but it's very open. I believe dancing is encouraged there. I don't know. I haven't been there yet. So
dancing is highly encouraged,
and it feels like a safe place to go have a good time.
Absolutely.
You're not going to roll up there in your sandals and your shorts. You will get turned away.
You need to dress.
You gotta.
You knew you were showing up at the place.
Yeah.
So we're not saying you have to have a jacket or anything like that, but no flip flops.
I don't know if
shorts,
there's even a sign out front that says anything about it.
I don't know. I mean, it's I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, it's behind the Falcon, and hopefully, maybe in the next month or so, we'll go there and be able to give you a more detailed report.
I'm curious. Libby can throw in those Italian shoes she got.
I'm gonna have to find a babysitter.
Hey, it's late night, so just put the kids to bed and slip out.
So we talked about new places. Another place that is not open yet that I just heard about that I'm very excited is, so unfortunately, Pied Piper over on the Eastside closed down.
East Nashville?
In East Nashville, a diner that had been around for a while. Great little sandwich, good breakfast place, good sandwich place. I believe, unfortunately, the owner passed away a couple years ago, and the family that they run Pied Piper Creamery just I guess didn't. I think it was doing okay, but I think they just couldn't keep up with it or didn't want to, so they ended up closing. But I just heard that there is a new Korean style restaurant opening up in its place sometime in the next couple of months. Cool. I don't know if there's a name yet. I've just heard that. I heard the people behind Duke's are a part of it. Wow. Duke's Bar, of course, the great bar over in East Nashville. So I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
And we'll keep you updated with that when it comes to fruition, when we hear about it actually opening, because I'm going to go definitely check that place out.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds really good.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get talking about the first couple places that we are going to discuss on this episode. The first one is a place called Urban Cowboy. Why don't you talk about it for just a second?
It's kind of cool.
Come on.
Nah, it's located in East Nashville.
Yeah, it's off Woodland Street.
Yeah,
and 16th, I think.
It's across from a pizza joint, and it's also across from a place called Lachlan's Table, if you're familiar with that.
Yeah,
I remember the first time that I actually went. It was in the winter. It was fairly chilly. It was at night, and just walking up to the place, it had this really cool vibe. It's fire pits and cocktails. What better way do you want to spend a winter evening?
Yeah, so it's half open, half closed. It's attached to a bed and breakfast. So if you Google Urban Cowboy, probably the first thing that's going to pop up might be the bed and breakfast, which is next door to it. But
it's all about the backyard.
Yeah. So you walk up. There's a large, I think, wooden door that is on the outside. And you walk up to the front. There is somebody usually to greet you.
Yes,
and you can. I won't talk about the person who first greeted. It was great. No. The first time I went there was I don't know if he's still there. There's this guy that kind of had this like Silent Bob / Sam Kinison vibe going on with a long overcoat and smoking a cigarette. He was super cool. I think he makes sure it was making sure everybody was taken care of. He just said, "Hey, you can sit wherever you want."
But he did check his ID. Want to make sure these.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Anyway, you walk up and there's some benches, some picnic tables. That's the open area. Behind that is a fire pit with chairs around it. So
to the left, there's a permanent bar. Yeah, it's all wood and it looks.
It's kind of
great.
this like southwestern type deco. It's a little.
Man, it was at night and it was dark.
Yeah.
There was just. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was cool.
And then to the right, there's a screened porch, and that's where they cook everything. So, the menu is small. It's not necessarily a place to go and eat like a full dinner, but definitely for a quick bite. They have some good.
It's mostly for drinks, I think.
Yeah, it's mostly for drinks. So when we went there, when my wife and I went there first, you'll look around and you'll see half of the people have a certain drink in their hand, and I think it's the Rosé Paloma.
Yeah.
Which is a rosé. It's very simple. It's just rosé wine, lime, salt, and grapefruit. That's all it is.
Nice.
And it
Straight to
is
the point.
a great, refreshing drink to have on a good spring or summer evening. It's very, very popular. You'll see a lot of people drinking that. There's another drink called the Buck, which is a tequila, ginger citrus, soda drink, which is very good. And in it is, so a lot of times you'll go to a restaurant or go to a bar and you're looking at the menu, you're looking at the drink menu, and you see something and you're like, I have no fucking clue what that word is. What is it? And so a lot of times with drinks, it's going to be a bitter. So the Buck has something called the Angostura. I'm probably not pronouncing it correct, which is a bitter that is from Trinidad and Tobago. It's an aromatic bitter, and there's so many bitters out there. I'm not even going to get into exactly where the bitter stands in the bitter realm. But anyway, that's what it is. But that was a good drink as well. Good, refreshing drink. That's kind of what they're known for, is some really just good, refreshing drinks. Their beer list is pretty small, although I think still have Bearded Iris IPA as an option, which is always a good option to have.
Stuff, yeah.
And then they have a small menu, like they'll have everything from grilled pickles to just a basic tomato sandwich, but it's really, really good. I think the first time I went there, they had grilled olives that have been soaked in bacon fat. It's fantastic. Really, really
theme
good.
Here, man. You're all about olives.
I love olives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
I when I was in Italy, I had some really good olives. Yeah, imagine that. So anyway, definitely recommend Urban Cowboy as maybe a place to go to and hang out before you maybe go out for the evening.
Yeah, because I mean, they wrap up fairly early.
Yeah, I think 11 o'clock they're closed. They're wrapping 10:30. They're walking around saying, "Hey, all right."
But if you're just starting your evening, definitely pop in. Or if you're you and the wife are going out for a drink, it's a place to check out.
Depending on the night, if you get there at 9:30, you might have to stand. But if you get there early, 5:30, 6 o'clock, easily find a seat. This time of year when it's pretty hot, the inside might fill up a little more quickly than
Well,
the
it's
outside.
absolutely fun when the sun goes down.
Yeah.
So try to get
yeah.
there, folks.
Yeah. So anyway,
When it's dark.
recommend that place.
So also just kind of East Nashville, we'll kind of explore that a little bit. I love that neighborhood. There's a place there that's in a little yellow house. Are you familiar with that place?
I am.
What is it? What is that called?
It's called Rosemary and Beauty Queen.
Yeah. And it's like this picturesque street
Forest Avenue.
with these older homes.
Yeah. Yeah.
These older homes, and you walk up to this. It's like a wraparound porch there.
Yeah, you would know. I mean, it
You would
is.
not know unless you know.
It's a house. It's right up
Yeah.
from the 5 spot.
Exactly.
It's right up.
It's around the corner.
Red door.
From the red door, from all those places.
Yeah,
Up the
I mean,
street from
you see
Park,
those.
yeah.
You think, oh, those are bars. You keep on
Yeah.
walking. You're like, oh, I'm in the neighborhood. But right, I think the first or second
It's the
house.
second house,
The
I
second
think.
house is
Yeah.
Rosemary,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't know otherwise.
No.
Other than there's usually somebody up front checking IDs.
Porch lights
Porch
on.
light. Yep.
There's a gentleman standing at the door. Walk up and definitely check it out. I mean, it's got a really, really cool vibe.
Yeah, so the first time I went there with my wife, we walked in. So you walk in, and to the right looks like a kind of a smoke room. It's got a lot of leather going on. It's a cool little area.
Or an art installation.
Art installation,
That's
yeah.
kind of the feel that I got. Lots of TV screens. There's stuff going on there.
Yeah. You walk
The
in.
old and the new. It's got a
Right,
great
you know,
feel.
it's cool. The wallpaper is amazing. I don't know if it's original. Probably not. They probably added to. I don't know.
The stained glass. There's
some
stained
really cool
glass
stained
thing going on
glass
behind the bar.
Really cool wraparound booth on the left, but then a small bar. Sit down. The first time we went there, I think so. It's run. The owners are Jim and Andrew, who've been around for a long time. Andrew, I think,
Part of the Nashville
managed
scene. Yeah.
Mercy Lounge for quite a while, and Jim has been in bands, in and out of bands for a long time. Definitely been part of the scene for a long time. Anyway, I think Jim was there the first time, manning the stereo, and it was nothing but Lou Reed, Bowie, T-Rex, Roxy Music, and which I can get behind 100%. It was awesome. The music was so good. Speaking of, and then you look at the menu and you're like, oh, somebody likes Dave. Somebody likes Roxy Music with, so they have a drink called the Avalon.
Yeah.
They have a drink called Remake Remodel, which
that is
a song from the first Roxy Music record.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
To track off that. So it's very theme based, some of the drink names around music. So they have some interesting cocktails. One is called the Root Truce, which is a green chartreuse shot with root beer chaser.
Have you ever had chartreuse?
I haven't. Tell me about it.
Dude, it's like a smack in the face
really?
On its own.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing, yeah.
I can't imagine that with root beer then.
Dude, it's interesting. It's not something that I would put together, but that is pretty spot on.
Yeah.
And again, we'll explore the whole cocktail culture here in Nashville, and maybe someone can explain that to us. But I may have to try that. And what is that called again?
It's called the Root Truce.
Yeah.
But
chartreuse, it's a thing.
Yeah. So they have all sorts of cool, interesting drinks. Again, this another place that's maybe go to before you go out if you're going to go out for dinner.
Yeah.
They do have a menu. I don't know how extensive they used to have a food truck.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I've only been there for drinks, and I reckon. I mean, late night. I would really like to see that place. See what it's like late night.
So it's cool. Not only do they have the front, the backyard is super cool. You go back and
it is a very cool vibe.
Yeah.
I have to say, walked into the backyard, sat down, and did not feel like I was in Nashville.
Yeah.
But late night, you got to go and check it out. I'll let you see. I'll let it be a surprise.
Yeah.
But it's very cool.
So they got, like I mentioned, the cocktails, but they also have sake.
Sake.
They have beer. The beer menu is fairly limited, but they also, every week, I think they host a local beer as their beer of the week, which is cool. So, and they have wine by the glass. So, they have a little bit of everything for everybody. So it doesn't matter what you want to drink, you will find it there, I think. So anyway, those are just two of the places in East Nashville, one of the many neighborhoods in Nashville that we are going to be talking about throughout this podcast that we can highly recommend.
If you're coming into town to visit. Or if you're looking for a place to hang out.
Yeah, if you got some friends coming in town, you want to take them someplace that is a little off the beaten path.
Or if it's just you want to go on your own, I can let you know what that's like. So just pop in there and have a drink. You know what I mean? So over the course of the next few shows, we're going to kind of get into why Nashville, why now, food-wise. Also, we're going to be exploring various different neighborhoods. And if we can, I don't know, somehow rope a chef and to come in and sitting down and tell us about what it is that they do and why they're the place you should be, we're going to try to do that as well, too. And we'll probably be talking to some folks around town that make beverages that everyone
Just a side note, I have to bring this up. So Mickey and I are huge music fans. So if you may have caught on to the name of the show, and it is a reference to a certain Talking Head song, which is amazing. I did see David Byrne when he came at the beginning of last month, and one of the best shows I'd seen in a while. But just we might talk about music here and there. We interject that. It is Music City. We can't help it. And I was going to ask you if there's a brand new band I just read about last night called Rolling Blackout, Coastal Fever.
No.
Have you heard? I peruse Rolling Stone and, just the website, and I saw a review, and so they referenced REM and Television and The Cure. And, of course, that's totally in my wheelhouse. So it piqued my interest. And I've listened to their new record already. I haven't got through it twice, but I got through it once. And it is awesome.
I'm going to have to check that out.
It is really good. I think the Cure reference I'm not sure about, but it's kind of like I don't get that. But what they're doing, it sounds new, but you totally can hear the 84, 85, 86 college rock.
You can feel it?
Sound. Yeah, you can totally feel I feel a little more like if you ever heard of the band Let's Active. So Mitch Easter, who produced the first 3 REM records, that was his band. I hear a little more Let's Active, a little more. Do you remember The Church?
No.
Like Under the Milky Way. You don't remember that song? Anyway, I hear a little bit of that, like some go-betweens. But anyway, I just wanted to shout out to that about that record because it is amazing.
Well, you have to add that to the Spotify playlist so people can check that out.
We will do that. Anyway.
And again, music, it's a big, that's another thing that I want to know from the folks that are making the drinks and serving the food around town and whipping up things is like, what are their musical influences, and who has more power, chef or musician? Don't answer that. Don't answer that because I'm just saying I wondered. I mean, I have thrown that out.
I've got various different answers. Like you talked about, the musicians are not putting anything directly into your body.
No, but they're putting it into your head. So what's the deal? But that's a whole nother thing, and I don't want to get too deep. But anyway, at any rate, that's what we're going to try to do over the course of the next few podcasts. And we're open to suggestions. We'll absolutely go check out somewhere. I'm also open to maybe having a drink or a bite to eat with you as well, too, if you'd like to do that. I do know my town.
So I think it was a good first one.
Stay tuned. I mean, we're going to explore Nashville. 2 Tennesseans just making their way.
Yeah, hoping to give you a little more insight than maybe what you're going to see when you Google one of these restaurants. Hopefully a little something extra that'll maybe incentivize you to check out one of these places that we are into. And kind of separate everything else from,
Well, we want you to check it out. We want you to enjoy yourselves. Life is short. And don't have a lot of time, so why not go and enjoy a drink somewhere?
That's right. So when you're in Nashville, so eat up, drink up, and if someone asks, this is the place we'll be. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Right. That felt much better.
How long was that?
That was